Welcome back to this very special episode of Rambler Sports Locker. We have a great final wrap-up show for you to conclude this season where we talk about the Cubs, White Sox, and get a goodbye from our lovely seniors.
All this and more coming up next.
Welcome back to Rambler Sports Locker. I'm Amelia Villhauer.
And I'm Tori Van Arsdale. We start today's show with an update from Loyola Athletics. They announced Thursday that men's volleyball head coach Mark Holst will not have his contract renewed. Holst stepped in as head coach for the 2016 season. During his tenure at the helm, he led the Ramblers to a 120-61 overall record. He also served as assistant coach for 4 seasons before that. Holst was on staff when the Ramblers captured back-to-back national titles in 2014 and 2015. The Ramblers went 18-9 this season to finish number 12 in the AVCA coaches poll before their season ended in the second round of the MIVA tournament last week. Loyola Athletics announced that a national search will begin for the head coach.
The Drip or Drown segment is back. Time to take a look at the fashion side in the world of sports by rating the outfits sported by our very own athletes here at Loyola. Here's Lucas Kihmm with the scoop.
What is up, Sports Locker Nation? It's Lucas Kihmm here again, back with another edition of Drip or Drown, where I rank Loyola and professional athletes' attire on and off the field and decide if they're a drip or a drown. So let's get straight into it. Coming in at number 1, we've got senior Kathleen Sims from the Loyola track and field team. The distance runner is the embodiment of a true athlete, sporting the Loyola singlet and splits during her races. The untucked singlet is definitely the style in the track, as well as the splits to get the least friction and resistance as she can. She's definitely looking better than this guy, who always tucked in his singlet and wore a silly headband. She's sporting some of the best running shoes, the Nike Air Zoom Alpha Fly Next Percent Flyknits. These kicks have the best cushion in the business, too, but put her to the speed to the max. She's an ultimate drip in my books. Number 2, we got Alex Caruso from the Chicago Bulls. Right off the bat, Caruso definitely does not put much effort into his outfits as he does on the court. Compared to his other teammates who dress in Gucci and Supreme, this guy definitely rolls out of bed and puts on a hoodie and sweats like it's a film day. The past few games against the Bucks, he sported a comfier look compared to his other teammates who have shown up in a suit and tie. I will give him credit on the shoe game since it's not bad, but he's a drown in my books. Finally, to wrap things up, we got Jimmy G.Q. Garoppolo from the San Francisco 49ers. The 2-time Super Bowl champion grew up in Arlington Heights and always shows up to his games in the best attire. Whether it be in a suit and tie, hoodie and jeans, or uniform, Jimmy's always looking fresh on and off the field. The kid from Eastern Illinois definitely knows what's up when it comes to style, especially since he brags about his favorite brand being Jordans. Since Jimmy has a contract with Levi's and Travis Matthews clothing, I've got to give him my final drip approval. Feels great, baby. For RSL, I'm Lucas Kihmm.
In Chicago sports news, the WNBA announced today that its All-Star Game will be hosted in Chicago July 10th in Wintrust Arena. This is the first time that the All-Star Game will be held in Chicago, which is home to the reigning WNBA champions, the Chicago Sky. Meanwhile, at the ballpark, the White Sox came to the season with high expectations, but have been on a slump as of late. Here with more on the Sox' recent losing streak is Nate Keough.
The Chicago White Sox entered this year's MLB season with what many considered the most talented roster the franchise had ever assembled. After winning the American League Central last year, the Sox were expected to be a serious World Series contender. Unfortunately, that hasn't been the case. The first week of the season was fairly successful, the White Sox winning 2 out of 3 against the Detroit Tigers and the Seattle Mariners, and took the first 2 from the Tampa Bay Rays to start the year, pitting them at a 6-2 record. While they won most of their games to that point, some concerns were still being raised. All-star closer Liam Hendriks looked very shaky early on, recording a blown save on opening day against the Tigers, and allowing quite a few runners on base in the save opportunities he did close out. The offense also raised some eyebrows, as most of the games they won were low scoring. The White Sox could only dodge these issues for so long and it finally caught up to them. It all began on Easter Sunday, where the red-hot Sox were shooting for a sweep of the Rays. Starting pitcher Vince Velasquez coughed up 4 runs in the first inning, walking in 2 with the bases loaded. The Sox lost the series finale 9-3. From then on, the Sox traveled to Cleveland for 3 games, where they were swept by the Guardians, including a doubleheader in which they only scored 1 run in each game. After that, the Southsiders traveled to Minnesota, where they were once again swept in a 3-game set. If an 0-6 road trip wasn't enough, the Sox came back home to face the Kansas City Royals this week and lost the first game 6-0. The 8-game losing streak put them at a 6-10 record now, and the Sox are no longer in the MLB's top 10 power rankings after being third to start the season. Over the losing streak, the offense was dormant and the bullpen was completely unreliable. Luckily, the Sox broke the streak yesterday by besting the Royals 7-3, powered by home runs by Jake Berger and Andrew Vaughn. It's still early, so hopefully the Sox can play to their ability and turn the season around. For Rambler Sports Locker, I'm Nate Keough.
Thanks, Nate.
Amazon has already taken over the world of shopping and business, but it seems that Jeff Bezos just can't stop there. Now Bezos wants to take a step into the world of sports and possibly create a new game on Black Friday. Chloe Morrisey is here to fill us in.
It's no secret that Jeff Bezos has taken over the world, and yes, the world. From dominating the e-commerce market with Amazon to seeking to lead in other markets with the Washington Post, Twitch, and Audible, Bezos is now looking to influence the NFL. After streaming Thursday night football games on Amazon Prime for a few seasons, Amazon is looking to further their NFL broadcasting capacity in the 2022 season. Amazon wants to create a tradition of their own by gaining the exclusive streaming rights to a Black Friday game, the day after the infamous Thanksgiving one. The opportunity for a Black Friday game was made possible by team owners allowing the NFL to schedule 2 more teams for an additional short week game. However, the Thanksgiving game already throws off the schedule for the week, so the addition of a Friday game could affect Sunday matchups even more. The last time the NFL hosted a Friday game that wasn't on a holiday was in 1989, so the addition of a Black Friday game will lead the league into some new territory. The league normally doesn't broadcast any night games on Fridays and Saturdays from the second Friday in September to the second Saturday in December, meaning the game will have to be set in the afternoon, due to high school and college games being held on those days. The game will also be competing with the highly anticipated USA-England World Cup match that is also set for Black Friday. Amazon is reportedly offering anywhere from $81 to $100 million for the Black Friday game, the equivalent of what networks pay for a wild card game. The NFL schedule rolls out May 12th, so be sure to ask your Alexa if the Black Friday game has made the cut. For the Rambler Sports Locker, I'm Chloe Morrisey.
Thanks, Chloe.
The Loyola men's basketball team has announced new names to the roster for the upcoming season. These transfers are looking to add a new element to the team's dynamic, and Rambler fans sure are looking forward to seeing them in action. Here's Abbey Sileo with more.
Over the past week, Loyola men's basketball announced the addition of 4 transfers to the roster. Last Friday, 2 seniors officially joined Loyola for their last year of eligibility. First is center Bryce Golden, who spent his career so far with the Butler Bulldogs. Golden became one of Butler's most reliable players, appearing in every single Butler game over the past 3 years. Coach Valentine told Loyola Athletics that Golden is a perfect fit with his high basketball IQ and skill set. Next is forward Jamerrill Wilson. A Chicago native, Wilson spent 4 years with the Lehigh Mountain Hawks. It is 108 games with Lehigh. Wilson scored 956 points and 468 rebounds. Wilson said Loyola's culture is what drove him to spend his last year with the Ramblers. 3 days later, 2 sophomore transfers were announced. Guard Sheldon Edwards was a force to be reckoned with in his 2 seasons with MVC rival Valparaiso. This past season, he was named to the MVC All-Bench team and the MVC Most Improved team. He also led the Beacons in steals, blocked shots, and made 3-pointers. Coach Valentine said Edwards is a dynamic player who still has room to grow with the Ramblers. Finally, forward Philip Alston will make the jump to Division I basketball. He spent 2 seasons with the Division II California University of Pennsylvania Vulcans. This past season, he became just the 3rd player in over 30 years to lead the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference in scoring and rebounding. He also earned Division II 3rd Team All-American honors. We'll see what these experienced players bring to the Ramblers next season. For Rambler Sports Locker, I'm Abbey Sileo.
Thanks, Abbey.
The NFL draft is here, and football fans everywhere are excited to see who will be the newest addition to their team's roster. There are many talented prospects expected to be drafted throughout all rounds, so it should be a good one. Here to fill us in more on draft weekend is Gabbi Lumma.
The NFL draft weekend is upon us, and many teams are preparing to pick up their prospects. This weekend is exciting not only for the teams, but for the fans as well to see who they'll be rooting for this season. There are 32 teams in the NFL and a total of 262 draft picks throughout the entire weekend, starting on April 28th and ending on April 30th. There are 32 picks in each round with extra picks from compensatory selections from the NFL. Compensatory selections are given to teams by the NFL based on if a team lost valuable free agents in the previous season to make up for the team's loss. Overall, there are 7 rounds of draft picks. Each team is given a placement in the draft in reverse order of last season's standings. This means that the team in last place last season will get the first pick overall, and the Super Bowl champion will get the last unless there are trades. This year, the Jacksonville Jaguars will have the first pick, while the Detroit Lions will take the last pick due to a trade from the Los Angeles Rams. The draft can be very straightforward, but it can also be very complicated. Teams are able to trade certain draft picks with other teams for a better spot in the draft. Teams would accept trades if they don't need a specific player as badly as another team, or if they get multiple picks in lieu of just one. For example, the Kansas City Chiefs traded its star wide receiver Tyreek Hill to the Miami Dolphins for 2 first-round draft picks and a 4th-round pick. These picks were key for Kansas City because the team needs a small rebuild in its offensive line. The Jaguars have the very first pick of every eligible player in the draft. This year, the top prospect for this first-round pick is defensive end Aiden Hutchinson out of the University of Michigan. Other top picks include Trayvon Walker, Kayvon Thibodeau, and Desmond Ridder. It will be an interesting draft weekend as there are many great prospects for the first round and throughout all 7. Happy drafting! From Rambler Sports Locker, I'm Gabbi Lumma.
Thanks, Gabby.
To keep up with all things RSL, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Loyola RSL. And thank you for tuning in with us for this season of RSL. For the Rambler Sports Locker, I'm Tori Van Arsdale.
And I'm Amelia Villhauer. And don't forget to turn out the lights.